been pushing Mythic Plus and Arena on countless characters, and there's a system that I use between all of them to actually make it so it doesn't feel like I'm actually just like playing a new class for the first time. For an example, if you're actually going to be looking at like your defensives for, you have a Paladin bubble on a 3 minute CD, you have a Nether Walk for the Havoc Demon Hunter on a 3 minute CD, then you have an Ice Block for a Mage on a 3 minute CD. Instead of putting those individually on a new keybind, let's say you put the Nether Walk on F, you put the Ice Block on X, and then you have your mouse button for your bubble. It's going to be hard to remember exactly which one, especially if you're jumping between classes. So you want to make sure it's staying consistent. So like when I look at my keybinds, my Nether Walk and my Ice Block are always going to be on the same CD. And for one of the other examples would be if you're actually using like Fel Rush and then comparing it to Blink, they're completely different spells, but they're inherently the same thing. You're moving forward, so if you've been playing a certain class for X amount of time and you have the monk thing and you move forward with that monk ability, you could put that on the same ability as maybe your blink. You're blinking forward. And then you could do the same thing with your Fel Rush, and there's just different things that you could do with that. For example, with the Demon Hunters right here, I've always had, because I played Hunter as well, for our Vengeful Retreat and Disengage, it's always been Shift E for me. So they've always been the same CD button, so they're always a backwards leap, and it just makes sense. So I've kept it at that entire time. So we want to be looking at that across the board. If you're going to keep those consistent, it's way easier to actually be swapping and making those actual decisions in the moment. You might not know exactly what that button's going to do. It will be a little bit different, but that's the other thing. You'll remember that this keybind represents this ability, this type of ability, this massive defensive, this massive like 2 minute CD. Maybe it's going to be your meta, your evocates. Those things could be on the same CDs, and then we could start discussing how we're actually going to be putting in our rotation to learn it. I know that we have the one button rotation and everything right now, but I don't think it's as good as everyone kind of thinks it is. I mean, it's probably pretty good, but I can feel the lag in it. I can almost see what ability is going to come up next and then just press that ability anyway. I mean, if anything, maybe try to do something like that. That actually might be... I might try that and see if that could work for people as well, because then it could help you get your muscle memory down, and if you can't find the keybind, I guess you could always hit the one button. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's cool to learn from it, but we're going to be talking about actually swapping through characters and setting them up. It's when you look at a lust pull, you want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at what your actual lust pull rotation is. Instead of it being like 1C Shift 5 G H Z D, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 E 4. I mean, it's like it's worth retrying the keybinds, because if you're like Shift R to go to Control X to Shift 3 E, like I've seen some wild stuff. So you have to be cognizant of what in that moment your buttons are going to be. What do you have to hit at the same time as being able to move? So I know that I always want my Blade Dance free and my Chaos Strike free, so I can always go either side, and then I have 2, 3 is my Blade Dance and Chaos Strike, so it makes it a lot easier. So those are some of the concepts that we need to talk about, and now I'll give like my actual keybind examples for most of my classes and how I actually even set them up on the board. If you look at it, my keybinds are even in order as a visual. So this is how they're listed on it right now. So it actually goes in order, and I know that on the left side of my screen, it's more towards the left of my keyboard or the left buttons of my mouse, and towards the right side of the screen is on the right side of the keys on the mouse or the right side of the keyboard. And so those concepts really help you translate to make it easier in dungeons to help the team do more mechanics, free up the mental capacity of the rest of the group, and time the keys. And so you want to know already what the keybind strokes are going to be doing, which ones are going to be the pain points. It's like, do you have to use your pot and do all of these different things and they're just fucking everywhere on the keyboard? That becomes really, really difficult, and there's not much you can do about it. So you need to kind of adjust your keybind system and understand what your main buttons are that you're going to be hitting. Try to make sure that you're freeing up your Q, E, R for like some major cooldowns and stuff like that. You like these are my enhanced glaive, E, enhanced glaive. Like sometimes things like that make sense to me, and like technically I probably could have the disengage not on E and then do shift E for the glaive, but it just makes a little bit more sense to me. It's been my characters throughout my entire time, so my E and my shift E are two of my main abilities, and they're very easy for me to press. So that's why those are like that. I always have time to turn my character like this and shift E. So it's kind of a nice setup for me. So Q would be stun for me. There's so many different types of keybind setups. You just need to make sure that they're in a flow for you. And if they flow, it will make it so much simpler when you're actually trying to do damage.